Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The current situation that we're in is not fun. We're forced to wear masks or face coverings everywhere we go. We can't see our family or friends in person. And you can forget about eating out at restaurants, strolling through the mall, or going to the theater to watch a movie. We're pretty much stuck at home the majority of the day. And we're all getting pretty restless as this quarantine continues. As for single people, your dating life is on hold indefinitely. Coming into contact with a stranger can land you a $1,000 fine. With all the lack of physical contact, you might as well become a nun or a priest. On top of no one dating, over 30 million people are unemployed. Death rates are continuing to climb. And there's a possibility of a second wave of even more infections come fall or wintertime. This whole thing sucks. I know. I feel your pain. So, where is the silver lining in all of this? How do we escape this never ending spiral of negative events? I came across this clip of Tim Ferriss and Ryan Holiday, and they're talking about the COVID-19 pandemic. Both of these guys are really into Stoicism, which is an ancient Roman philosophy that centers on differentiating what we can change and what we can't. In other words, you don't control what happens, for example, the pandemic and its restrictions, but you can control how you respond. Tim Ferriss leads into a really profound question in this clip.
She's very good at this. And that is, how can you make the next 3 to 6 months some of the most enjoyable or productive of your life? Or if that's too much pressure, right? You can phrase it different ways. How can you make the next 3 to 6 months something you look back upon as a sacred time?
This question made me reframe how I'm thinking about this situation. Luckily, I'm fully employed and in good health. No one close to me has been infected by the virus. So rather than feeling helpless, I should feel empowered because I have control over how I structure my day. This led me to create a 30-day challenge for the month of May. So until the end of May, I will not use my cell phone after 6 p.m., do a P90X workout, and read 5 books cover to cover. I think doing these things will enable me to create my own happiness and view this time as sacred and enjoyable. My first challenge is to put my cell phone in a drawer by 6 p.m. and not attend to it until the next day. I'm addicted to my phone, whether it's looking at new YouTube videos or sending funny memes between friends. I can't stay away. Feels like I've wasted so much time when I could have been doing something so much more productive, like putting together a Toastmaster speech or reading a good book. Tristan Harris, a former product researcher at Google, says, "We check our phones around 150 times a day." He likens the cell phone to a slot machine.
Okay, so you call this thing a slot machine.
Slot machine in our
What does
pocket.
that mean?
Well, it operates on a variable schedule reward. So sometimes you check your phone and you're playing a slot machine, and if you get a message from the person you love or an email to show up on the CBS morning show, it feels really good. And then sometimes you check your phone and there's nothing there. And the fact that sometimes you get something and sometimes you don't is what makes it just like a slot machine.
So by sticking this so-called slot machine in the kitchen drawer, hopefully my phone will be out of reach for many hours on end. I'm looking forward to giving my brain a break from this constant barrage of digital information and just being at peace with my thoughts. My second goal in the 30-day challenge is to do P90X and also run. As you probably know, P90X is a home workout routine. It's important for me to look and feel fit. For me, working out releases tension and anxiety in my body, which is really important, especially during this time. Running is similar. You experience a runner's high. Endorphins or opiates are released in your brain, causing a sense of euphoria. So yesterday I ran to the top of Coyote Hills in Fremont, and I did feel this sense of euphoria while snapping pictures of a beautiful landscape. I definitely want to keep working out and running as the benefits are mental along with physical. My third goal in this challenge is to read 5 books cover to cover. To me, reading is a contemplative, relaxing exercise. It allows me to absorb knowledge on a deeper level. I'm in the present moment. There's a sense of peace and tranquility in reading the written page. It also puts me to sleep at an earlier time versus staring at my cell phone, which tends to keep me awake. These are the books that I want to read. They're all in the self-improvement genre, which I think will help me in the long run. And how could I forget one of my favorite books of all time, The Power of Now, which focuses on being in the present moment and turning off the chatter in our minds. In closing, I like to read a quote by an ancient Stoic philosopher, Epictetus. Happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one principle. Some things are within your control and some things are not. I know that the pandemic and the length of quarantine is not in my control, but I can do things that are in my control, like limit my cell phone use, exercise, and read more to produce feelings of happiness. There is a sense of relief and freedom in knowing what's in my control and what's not. And I hope you can find your happiness in realizing this too.